Welcome to the Urban Influencers, the number one platform for indie artists. And I have the honor, I have a pleasure, Miss Juanita Wynn. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. We talked a little bit briefly um, off air before we came on about your song, and I was like, "Wow, this is a beautiful song." And you were saying it's one you feel good about it, and you
I
should.
do. I do. I do. I do.
That is awesome. So tell us about you, Juanita. Where are you from, and when did you get started in the industry?
Well, I was born and raised in Reno, Nevada.
Okay.
Yeah. And excuse me, my father was a pastor. I have 8 sisters and one brother. And there, within my family and my siblings, I learned to do harmonies, and I just loved to harmonize and
Mm,
loved the blending of voices.
mm-hmm.
And when I found out I could do that on my own in the studio, I kind of I think the first time was my father had put a couple of albums out on my
Mm-hmm.
sisters and I, called the Wynn Sisters. And
I
when
remember.
we went, yeah, oh, you remember?
I remember because I kept saying, "I know her." And when your
Really?
name exactly. I mean, I've been doing the radio thing for a long time, and I've done the gospel format. And I'm like, why do I know that name? So okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject.
Yeah, no, that's good. So, the first time I was in the studio and I had the headphones on, oh my goodness, I know I was pregnant. I was pregnant, I believe with my daughter. And my first, I was young. I think I was 16, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
No, 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 no. I was 15.
Wow.
And my sister wrote a song called God Said It. And I remember singing it and I just started crying in the booth, but everybody was listening. I had never felt like I had a voice, really.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Because
mhm.
sometimes you get so, as preachers' kids, sometimes it's just all about ministry, ministry, ministry. And
Right.
there's so
Right.
much that's going on inside of us individually, questions and all kind of other things. And when I did that and I was saying, he was there for my mother, he was there for my father, he'll be there for me. I know, I know. I start crying.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, oh, I came out the booth shaking and crying. And I was like, I just knew they were going to erase it. But they were calling me Michael Jackson and they were saying, no, we're not going to erase that.
Wow.
But the feeling of being heard, you know, and expressing myself,
Mhm.
it became like therapy for me. So, so that's kind of what got me, kind of sparked my interest in going further than just being in the group. And you
Right.
know so, and just one thing led to another, and here I am.
Well, here you are. Um, Let me ask you, is it different like singing the solo thing versus doing it with your siblings?
Yeah, because there's strength in numbers.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? My siblings, we kind of gelled together, and there's kind of like even though we had our rough days, there was still a connection that we had, you
Mhm.
know. Um, but doing it on my own, I feel like I'm able to say what I want to say. It's not
Mhm.
dictated, or and my message is broad. It's not narrow at all. And many topics, anything positive, anything that feels good,
Mhm.
change, I want to write about it. So, it is a little different,
Mhm.
but I embrace both.
Okay. So when did you make that decision that you want to do it by yourself, do a solo thing?
Well, I really didn't. They put me
Okay.
out of the group.
What?
So,
What you do?
yeah, the Wynn sisters, they put me out.
Oh my goodness.
They kicked me out of the group.
They actually kicked you out.
Absolutely. They did.
What?
They kicked me out. But what happened was, when my father passed away,
Mhm.
we had a concert coming up, and they called me like I think 2 days before the concert, and called me. My sister, one of my sisters, sat me down, and she's like, we decided that, your life isn't together like it should be. You're not saved like you should be. And so we're not going to allow you to sing with us this time. I was crushed, 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 crushed. I cried, I cried, I cried, I cried, I cried because I was looking forward to it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And no, I wasn't perfect, but I wasn't out there doing nothing crazy. I mean,
Right, right.
I guess maybe because I don't know what it was. I guess maybe because I had a boyfriend. I don't know,
Okay.
maybe that was it. But still, I wasn't doing anything that,
Mhm.
I felt I should have been put out of the group, and I mean, I still feel that way
To this
to
day.
this day. But I respect their opinion, but I
Mhm.
feel like I'm not angry anymore. I was, but I'm not anymore because I understand that sometimes things have to happen to push you into your destiny,
And see, I was about to
you
ask you
know?
that question. Do you think that maybe it was a aha moment and maybe this is I'm supposed to be going in this direction versus that direction. So because the Bible, all things work together for the good, the good and the
Yes,
bad.
and the
So
bad.
and the
Yeah.
bad. So I'm a true believer of that. So when those bad things happen, I'm like, okay, God, you're trying to teach me something. You're trying to
Yeah.
tell me something. So
Yeah.
did you feel that? Because especially coming from your siblings, so I know it hurt a little bit more than it would have hurt from somebody else, because that's blood. But
Yeah.
they were trying to tell you something. I'll
Yeah,
tell
it was, I don't know how to even say, what that was all
Mm,
about. But um, I know that church at the time was very strict.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And sometimes when you're going, let me say this carefully. I think sometimes church can create clones
Mm,
till you're going through the motion
mm,
and you end up looking at someone else's faults and look right past your own.
mm,
Just because you're in it and you're going through the motion and maybe no one knows what you're doing, or you're doing yours maybe more quiet, whatever the case may be. I don't know anybody's life, but I do believe that at the time things were really strict, you
mhm,
know. Because I as a child I was I shouldn't, statistics, let me say, would have had it where I wouldn't be where I am today because I was a chronic runaway. I
mm,
grew up in and out of group homes and foster homes just because I would run away because I could not communicate to my parents some of the things that were happening or had happened to me. So I would run away, and I found solace and refuge in other young people who were running away as well, who were hurting just like me. And that became my family, so to
mhm,
speak. So, because I used to run away, one particular time I was at church and my dad had me stand up in front of everybody. And he told me, Juanita, stand up. And he said, I want you to get down out of the choir stand because you was running away. You're not living the life like you should. And I cried then. And I think not too long after that, my dad passed away, and we had the concert. And my sister, that was part of the reason why she did it. She said, "I think Daddy would want you to live a certain life." I mean, it went into all of that,
mhm,
but I just I've learned that there's always been a purpose for my life. We want to pattern our lives after other people. We want our story to be the same and be accepted, by others. So therefore, we don't find our individuality. We don't find or tap into who we are as an
mhm,
individual, you
mhm.
know? So my story is I have a blood father who I love, who I miss very much. But I also believe that on those my darkest of darkest moments, my creator is was and is my father,
Mhm.
you know. So, yeah.
I think you learned a lot from that was supposed to happen, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I mean, just listening to you talk and because you could be sitting here like, and they did that but you have come to peace
Absolutely.
beyond, understanding, so
Mhm.
you got right, like, this is supposed to be for this. Okay, there you are.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Calls.
I know, I had to put my phone but
I don't
yeah,
know what to do.
like, "Stop." No, but yeah, I think you have this peace about it. You have a peace about the situation, which has brought you to where you are now. So is this your first project that you're putting out? How many projects have you put out since you've been doing this?
No, this is my third actually. Well,
Wow,
I've
okay.
done a lot of in my quest to find myself, I've always believed in inspiring people.
Mhm.
I learned through my first album that you better be careful what you say
Mm,
in song because you never know where you find yourself in life.
absolutely.
So I said my next project, I was just going to inspire because I don't think that I'll ever get to a place in my life where I can preach to anyone. I can testify, I can tell my story, I can
Mhm,
inspire you, but
mhm,
because the way life happens and how it finds us sometimes, I
mhm.
don't want to preach to anyone.
Mm,
I just want to say something to them to help them get through where if where they are, if it's somewhere that's similar to where I've been.
right.
So I learned from my first project, inspire people, because you're saying things, that, and here you are looking at your own words.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying?
mhm, I get
And
it.
it's like, girl, and you know, so
Yes.
I'm serious. I feel like I can only sing about what I've come through, what I've
Mhm,
experienced, because in throughout my life, I grew up learning, when it comes to relationships, marry, hurry up and get married. You get to find them, stay with that one, marry him, and and
mhm.
and that became my quest to, and you end up making a lot of mistakes because you don't
Right.
vet a person, you don't, and then if you don't have healing, you're, you
Mhm.
know, got that anger inside, and so it's like I had to do some healing, and I had to realize I just want to write songs that inspire. If I'm
Mhm.
going to write about love, if I don't have anything nice to say,
Mm.
I don't somebody else can write that. I'm not there in
Exactly.
my life. I don't put them down for it, but that's just not where I am. I'm past that place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and in fact, I when I pulled up your song, I was listening to it. I guess I want to fast forward to this project, that you're working on, because when I pulled up the single and I was listening to it, in fact, and I don't know, I was trying to find it because the lyric, I'm a lyric girl, and it
Yeah.
sounds like you were saying to this person that, okay, I've made some mistakes and I know if I lost you, I would really feel, I'm trying to just kind of summarize what I was and what I was hearing and then what I was
Yeah.
reading. And I was kind of like, wow, this is so nice. This is deep. This is like it was you said it before, it came from a real place, and
Yeah.
that's what I feel when I hear the song, and, again, I was reading the lyrics, and I was like, "Wow," that's what stood out to me. I was like, "Dang, this is deep right here."
Yeah. 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 Um because it came from a situation where it was a text message. And sometimes I'm a lyricist too. Even when I text, I'm doing some lyrics, you
Okay.
know. And it's
Okay.
like, and sometimes you feel like, oh, you know what? I really need to tell him about himself. He needs to know where he's, you know. And some things don't need to be said. You know what I'm saying? Some things we don't have to say, you know? Um, when you love someone, that love you have covers a multitude of faults.
Mhm.
And when I wrote this song, I wrote it for couples just to say, you know, just be careful what you say. But at the same time, to the other person, remember that there's things I had to forgive you for too,
Mm.
you know. So, but even though I need you to forgive me, I also understand that when the shoe was on the other foot, I needed space. So I need to understand that sometimes when you cut someone, you need to give them time to bleed.
Mhm.
You know, some cuts don't need a band-aid, some need stitches.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it takes time to heal, you
Mhm.
know. So, but to be vulnerable, I think, is so vital today in relationships because we're loving scared these days,
Mhm.
you know, because the older you get, the more scared you seem to love, you know, because
Yeah.
we feel like so many different experiences have brought us to this place. So I'm now this new person is doing time for all everybody else's crime and you
Exactly.
know and no, no.
You can't do
So
that.
this, yeah,
Yeah.
so this project is for couples. I've got like three other songs that are just as nice, just for couples, just for
Mhm.
love,
Just for love? Well,
just
you
for
know
love.
what? Let folks hear just a little taste of what you got, okay? So this so
I
so
can't do that.
yeah, no, I was gonna play it. You don't mind me playing? I'm not gonna make you I'm not gonna
Oh,
put you on
oh,
blast.
that, yeah. I thought you meant the new stuff. I'm telling you, I can't wait for you guys to hear the new stuff. I can't
Okay.
wait.
I'm telling I got a little bit of it here.
Okay.
I wasn't nice last night, and I know it wasn't right. I said some things that I wish I could take back, babe. I took my pain out on you. Now I just wanna make it right. If you let me, I don't wanna take for granted what we have, and then pretend it wouldn't hurt me if you walked out that door. And I don't wanna be the reason we fall. No, so I'm gonna make it right tonight. Oh, I do remember when it was me, baby. I'm not gonna give him too much now. Back when the tables were turned. Uh-oh. It took some time for me to let it go. That's why I understand if you need space. But I'm hoping that it's not the case. Situations come and go to make us strong, babe. You know, I'm going to add this to my station.
Yes.
This is nice. I was sitting there again. I'm a lyric girl. I love beautiful lyrics. And I mean, it's just real. It just came from a really good place. I mean, but it came from realness. And I was like, wow, I like this.
Thank you.
That,
Thank
that,
you so much.
I'm going to say it like the kids. That's dope.
That's dope.
That's dope. That's so dope. I'm like, wow, okay, okay. And you know what else? And this is where, okay. So when they told me I'm gonna interview you, I said, okay, let me get my praise on.
Get your praise.
Get my praise on. I know this lady. She's a gospel singer. But then when I heard this, I was like, that's why I had to do a
Yep.
little research. I'm serious. I had to do a little research. Like, wait a minute now. But
Yep.
it's not gospel, but it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
It's real music for real people. Whether you
That's
are
right.
into gospel or you into United, it don't matter. This is a real song about real
That's right.
relationships and real people who are in
Yeah,
relationships,
yeah.
you
I
know.
call it the gospel truth.
Exactly. There you go. It absolutely. So whether you go to church or you don't go to church, if you're
Yeah,
married or you're in a relationship, this is real. And
yeah, yeah.
that's what really stood out to me the most. And other than the fact that you got a beautiful voice and
Thank you.
you're a
Thank
heck of a
you.
writer.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be doing some touring. What's next? So you can complete the project or EP. What you gonna do?
We're trying to work on that and getting some
Mhm.
dates and everything.
Okay.
Um, we haven't released it yet, and on the first, excuse me, on the first, we're going to be releasing it on the U.S. side
Okay.
because we've been really just promoting it, pushing it on across the pond, you
Gotcha.
know.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of happened quicker than what we initially wanted to put it out. So that's why it kind of happened this way. But you know,
We got to shout out to our folks across the pond because one thing about them, when they hear some good music, and this is some good
yeah,
stuff right here from especially R&B music, they don't hesitate. They don't
no,
trip. They're on our music. They give us love. There's shows. There's so much, and over here we don't appreciate what we got here.
I
You're
know.
it is, and I'm so glad that I had to leave commercial radio. Well, I'm back in commercial radio because I still gotta pay the bills,
Yeah,
but
right, right.
in the mornings, but I started my online station, and I'm so glad I do have the indie station, and I hooked up with urban influencers for this reason, for people like you. I would have n unless
Wow.
you did a gospel in your family many years ago, I would
Yeah.
have never heard this song, for real.
Wow.
I would have
Wow.
not heard and not yet, not where you're at this point, but I guarantee if it goes across the pond and blows up over there, it gonna come right on back to the States, so because now you have the numbers and you have everything showing, and you haven't even, like, really released it over here yet.
No, I
So
haven't, but and
hmm,
they've got it on the chart and they're keeping it, and
my
it's
goodness.
I'm just grateful because, like I said, it came from a real place.
Mhm,
And my intentions are to just help relationships,
mhm.
say something that
Yeah,
you know how when
positive.
you're going through, maybe you're having a dispute with your
Mhm.
significant other, and you can't say it, but you'll send them a song.
Yes, and
Yeah,
that's the
this is
song.
yeah,
That's
this is
the
the
song to
song.
sing.
This
I'm
is
telling you, it's gonna be like, you know Juanita, I don't know. I guess because God's just been telling me to tell you, you are healing people in another way. It may not be like you
wow.
said it from the very beginning. It may not be traditional. It may
Yeah,
not be okay. I'm sitting in church and I'm singing this song, but the mind, the heart,
yeah,
relationship. That's what God is using that voice for. That's what He's using those lyrics for to help people because there's
absolutely.
so many divorces, there's so many broken homes, there's so many all you need to do is sit down, listen to your lyrics of the song. I understand you, understand
Yeah,
me. Have that
yeah,
conversation. And this song
that's
puts it
right.
right in there, in the groove. So I can imagine, a wife sending that to her husband. They just had this argument and he's riding to work and just listening to the lyrics or vice versa. And he sends it to her. I bet she'll start crying just to
Yeah,
know just
yeah.
because sometimes it's like this is hard to say. So here go this lady. She don't wrote the she don't wrote what I'm trying
That's
to say.
right. That's right, and that's what it's all about because when my ex-husband and I were going through our moment,
Mhm.
I was, like, looking for a song. I said, "He not really listening. He don't wanna hear me singing. What can I send? Who" you know? And there was a song by Gregory Porter and Layla Hathaway.
Mhm. Insanity.
Insanity, and
Mhm.
I would our
My
house
faves.
echoed, and I put my Bluetooth on and let it just play throughout the house,
Mm.
and I was like, "Well, maybe this'll," so it nothing beats a try, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Um,
Absolutely.
if your hearts are still there and you want it and you wanna make it work. I mean, because sometimes couples have arguments, and even though they know we just had this terrible argument, neither one of them is thinking, you know, well, but I'm gonna leave. They're just like, I'm just
Mhm.
upset with her, or I'm upset with him. This
Mhm.
is just a way to apologize when you're sincere and you're ready, and to get each other to look at things from a different spectrum and saying,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, yeah, she did that. Yeah, but I did need her to forgive me at this time,
Right.
when I did XYZ. It's not saying, you know, um, just women just bowing down, letting people treat them bad or vice
Mhm.
versa. It's saying we're in this thing together. So it's this is how we grow, because a relationship that hasn't gone through anything is not worth much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just not worth much. You've got to have that, those tough days so you can
Mhm.
say, you know what, we went through the trenches together. I got a
Right.
song for that. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I can't wait till that one comes out.
Wow, I'm looking
But,
forward.
you
This
know,
is me. I'm looking forward.
I'm telling you, this is all for couples. These songs are for
Mhm.
couples who want to make it work, or who have been in the trenches, who have
Mhm.
the new ones, the old ones, the just like, let's just let's make it work. Let's
Mhm.
realize that we both have made mistakes,
Right.
and let's fix it, you know? So, yeah.
Well, your music definitely has a message. I'm a single girl, but, I love the idea of being in love.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
all I can say.
Yes.
I love the idea of being in love, and one day, when in due time, in due season, when
Yeah.
I'm ready,
Yeah.
I was
Look,
ready.
I'm single too, and I wrote it.
Okay,
So,
see? So I don't feel too bad.
yeah, I've been single for like 3, 4 years now,
Wow.
because you
Mhm.
learn to be careful, and, to make the be just right now, let me just say it like this. I think I'm in download mode,
Mm. Okay.
where I'm observing
Mhm.
what took place. I'm asking myself, why? You know, um, why in your part, why did you do XYZ? And we didn't have a violent a marriage. We weren't fussing and cussing each other out. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? But I think there comes a place where my go-to was silence, you know, where I'm just
Mhm.
not saying anything. Well, why would you not communicate? Why not say
Right.
anything? You
Right.
know, and be honest with yourself, you know. And when you needed to say something, open your mouth and say something. But by the time I did, so much damage had been done, you know what I'm saying? Because in your silence, they're thinking, like they say, an idle mind is the enemy's territory. So when him or myself is sitting there in silence and retreating to our separate spaces or our corner, you
Mm.
know, friends are talking, saying, "Girl, I wouldn't put up with that," and this and that, and his
Yeah.
friends are saying, yeah, you're talking to the wrong people when you need to be
Mhm.
talking to each other, you
Absolutely.
know, because
And I
marriage
always
is personal.
tell my married friends, "Be careful of your single friends." I'm just saying, and I'm a single girl, so I'm just saying, I always tell that to my married friends, or who are those of you who may not be married, but in a relationship, be careful of the single ones because they want what you have.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I have I've got married girlfriends, and they know when they call me, I tell them, "What did you do?
Mhm. Mhm.
Is it fixable? Don't just run." I tell
Mhm.
them, because marriage is personal.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your marital business, because I don't have a
Mhm.
dog in the fight and I wasn't there.
Right.
You know? So
Right.
I'm not gonna let you just dump on your spouse because you married him. You're there and you're in a moment. So
Mhm.
my thing is, first be accountable, you know,
Mhm.
and look within. So my married friends can call me, they know
Mhm.
that I'm gonna be honest and keep it real with them, because I believe marriage is personal. The depth of it is not something any outsider could ever
Mhm.
comment on, ever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because
Unless you show up to my house with black eyes, then I might say, "Okay, look, now we need to talk," you
Right,
know?
right, right, right.
But, yeah, other than that, it's personal. It's
Mhm.
personal.
Yeah, and a lot of you can't tell what's going on in your house outside the house because again, people watch, people see, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Shoot, she got that good looking man up in there, and she don't
Mhm.
appreciate it." I've seen it all the time, and I'm like, "What
Yeah.
happened?"
Yeah. That's all you can
Girl,
say.
he left.
He like
Mhm. Okay.
yeah.
What did you do? Like you said, what did you do?
What did you
But then,
what happened? Yeah.
I'm not saying that trust me, that some of them are not perfect either, ladies. We know.
That's right.
We
That's
know.
right.
So I'm
That's
not
right.
trying to say that part. But,
Oh,
don't let it get basically this song is saying, let's not let it even get to that part. To that point. If
yeah,
we
yeah,
communicate
yeah.
now, we can keep this thing going the way it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. So I love it. I love it. So I'm looking
Thank you.
forward to the rest of your project. We'll definitely have you back when you release it and, just become a couples therapist with your music.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly where it's gonna be, through my music.
Mhm.
You know,
Musically.
I could answer a lot of questions if you ask me concerning relationships from my own
Mhm.
experiences. Like
Right.
I said, I can tell you my experiences, but everybody's story is different, you
Mm,
know? You
right.
know,
Absolutely.
so that's where we have to do some soul searching.
Mhm.
And it goes beyond a counselor, a
Mhm.
marriage relationship therapist. Soul searching is very important.
Mhm. Well, it's definitely in the music. It's in the
Thank
music.
you.
How can, folks get your music? It's on available on or is it available yet? What's the deal?
This is on Bandcamp right now. So it's
Okay.
Juanita Wynn um, dot bandcamp dot
Mhm.
com. So this single is on Bandcamp. We're on the first, it will be it will be in all the mediums.
Okay.
So
That's
yeah.
okay. That's coming up like a couple days.
Yeah.
A
Right
couple
around the
days, so
corner.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
right around the corner, so it'll be
Yeah.
fun. And you have a website and social media, all
I
that?
do. Website is juanitawynn.com.
Mhm.
It's under construction, so, but there's some nuggets on there, my bio and everything. And then I'm on Instagram, and on Facebook, Juanita Wynn. Instagram is at Juanita Wynn.
Okay.
And yeah, so
All right. Well, we're definitely looking forward to Miss Juanita Wynn and your new
yeah,
music, and we appreciate you, stopping through the Urban Influencers Radio, and definitely let all our DJs and program directors and station owners. I know they're gonna love it. So we're definitely looking
thank
forward, and
you.
hopefully soon we'll have you on the round table, and they'll really dive into who you are. That
Yes,
was nice.
listen, I'm
That was
ready. I'm
okay.
ready.
Oh, yeah, they love asking questions, so
Yeah,
it'll be
good.
awesome,
I'm
and
not scared.
I know. No, you don't come across as being scared. You're fine. You're like, you're ready to answer, so but we're definitely
Yeah.
looking forward to and thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you. My pleasure as well. I appreciate it. I really do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
I wasn't nice last night, and I know it wasn't right. I said some things that I wish I could take back, babe. I took my pain out on you. Now I just wanna make it right. If you let me, I don't wanna take for granted what we have, and then pretend it wouldn't hurt me if you walked out that door. And I don't wanna be the reason we fall. case. Situations come and go to make us strong, babe. So I'm hoping that you won't be mad for long. I'm praying you and I can mend what's been broken. Back to love. So I'm gonna make it right. No more bringing up the past to each other. Let's go back to being friends and lovers. And I know there's so much more to discover. I know there's more, so much more. Baby, I just wanna put this all behind me. So we back to love. So I'm gonna make it right. I don't wanna take for granted what we have. Oh, and then pretend it wouldn't hurt me if you walked out that door. And I don't wanna be the reason we fall. Yeah, fall apart. So I'm gonna make it right tonight. Qué bonita morena, mijita linda boricua, aquí for you, baby. And beat all my ladies. Hey, zapatistas, I'm alright with you. Libertad, we gon' die for you. Abuela in your soul, built that backbone, built the land they stole. So when they ask you where your people come from, when they ask you where your people come from, the 60,000 years that we here, valleys stained with blood and tears. But chica, let them know this the land we've sown. They those seeds to grow. Hey, with brown skin, brown love, we brown people with brown issues. Brown skin, brown love, we proud people with brown issues. Hey. San Antonio que llora, no justicia para los pobres, no lloren, mijito. Stop taking my people. La guerrilla, I'm alright for you. Mi bandera, we gon' die for you. Abuela in your soul, need that revolution. Take back the land they stole. Hey, so see that brown, ay, with brown skin, brown love. We brown people with brown issues, brown skin, brown love. We proud people with brown issues. Hey. Fuck, I say, eat me and the ride with me. Come CBP, we out with no idea. And if it catches at the borderline, no tengo miedo, we gon' be alright. Brown people, brown love, brown skin and brown trust, brown hurt and brown worth. Eating off that brown earth.
In the shade of a broken heart, I'll wait till the love die out to push what we had in our time out. Hard to believe that we're done now. I know I messed up so many times now, but I need you to see that you are the one for me right now, baby. We found love, then we drifted apart. Crazy in love right from the start. Don't throw shade, that's not who we are. Incredible and natural, like in a time warp. Seems like the time stopped. Keep thinking of you and all the love you gave to me. I don't wanna push it away, but I know I messed up so many times now, but I need you to see that you are the one for me right now, baby. Oh. We found love, then we drifted apart. Crazy in love right from the start. Don't throw shade, that's not who we are. Incredible and natural, like in a time warp. It seems like the time stopped. I keep thinking of you and all the love you gave to me. I just don't wanna give it away, no, no. Give it away, baby. No, 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 no.
your hope and where's your faith? Will you show up to fight another day with God's mercy and His grace? You can reach the other side, you can make it through the night, but you must show up to the fight. Oh, you must show up to the fight. 'Cause what you see is not your end. You must keep on walking. Don't you stop now. Don't you stop now. You gotta go. God is on your side. He won't let you down, but you must walk by faith and not by what you keep on fighting, no matter how hard it gets. You gotta keep on going, 'cause there's victory after this. But you gotta go. God is on your side. He won't let you down, but you must walk by faith. You must walk by faith, not by what you see, not by what you see. You must walk by faith. You must walk by faith, not by what you see, and not by what you see. You must walk by faith. God's on both sides, both sides, both sides. God's on both sides, both sides, both sides. You gotta go. Show up to the fight and go. God is on both sides, so go. Show up to the fight and go. God's on both sides of the